Hello, welcome to Big Bang Radio Spotlights. This is a show where we talk to independent artists from all around the world, all about their music and their process for making it. I'm your host, Isaac Anderson, and today I get to sit down with Emily from Sister Species. Without any further ado, here's the interview. Emily, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I think we should start right at the beginning, just like I start all my other interviews out, because I'm always fascinated to hear what people are going to say about this. And the question I'm going to ask you is, what is your earliest musical memory?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Excited to have you.
My earliest musical memory involves playing the piano with my dad. So my dad's a pianist. He actually makes tons of videos on YouTube, Dan Kastrul piano page. And from a really young age, even though I couldn't read music, he would teach me how to play the bass lines for songs that he would play on piano. So he taught me a basic 12-bar blues that I remember playing as a little kid. So
very nice
memory.
But I don't want to jump ahead of ourselves, but does that tie into why you wanted to play the accordion, just the piano playing in that regard, or I don't know if that lent anything to it. I feel like it did.
Yeah, I think that helped me understand the accordion. So my accordion actually came from my dad's sister Judy, who she passed away when I was a kid, but I inherited her old accordion when I was in high school. And so I basically was just an accordion, I guess I should play it. So at that point in my life, I had taken some piano lessons and I played bass a little bit. So it just kind of, I don't know how much you know about accordions, but it's actually I have mine right here, which is funny.
Yeah, please, by all means, pick it up.
Visual, the left-hand side is all bass notes, and then the right-hand side is a piano. So actually it's a nice, it's kind of a natural jump from piano or bass to playing accordion.
So is that how you kind of got started playing music? Was you kind of being up in a semi-musical household and everything? I don't know. How exactly did you get started playing?
Right. I think I was always encouraged and was really grateful to have parents who were able to afford music lessons and also who were equally supportive of me playing piano songs as they were me learning pop punk bass lines. I feel like they throughout my whole musical journey were very supportive. And then for me, the main transformation was I went to school in Portland, Oregon. And when I was out there, I met a lot of people who played different kinds of folk music. And I started playing in I don't know what we call ourselves, kind of like a folk punk or crust folk band. And that was what really motivated me to learn more songs because I enjoyed playing alone, but I didn't really have a reason to to excel more, and finding people who I really connected with kind of shaped my musical journey. And then also learning folk songs. So learning songs that other people had written or learning other people's stories made me be oh, well, I want to write my own stories. I want to share my own songs. So those were kind of some of the main pieces that contributed to my personal journey.
Do you remember the first time you got in front of an audience and played live?
Yeah, I feel like I can remember I would say my highlight reel of that is piano recitals as a kid. And then in 8th grade, me and some friends covered a Ramones song, Hey Ho, Let's Go, for the school talent show. I'm trying to think of the first time I played my own songs in front of people. I think that was when I was playing with that group in Portland. I was I have songs of my own. But yeah, those are the early memories. Piano recitals, classic, and doing a cheesy Ramones cover.
I guess now would be a great time to kind of hop into your current musical project, which is why we're here, is Sister Species. How exactly did, first off, how did you come across the name?
Yeah, so I studied biology in college, and Sister Species is the name for the two species that are most closely related while still being considered distinct species. So it's actually not to get too nerdy, but the concept of species is a really hotly debated topic of sort of when did these animals stop being the same and start being different. So That's where the name came from. And I think for me, a lot of my songwriting is inspired by the natural world and by biological or other science concepts, and then also about relationships. So like how I connect with other people or how I see myself fitting into the world. And I felt like the name Sister Species captured those aspects of my songwriting.
Yeah, I totally think it does, and that's a very beautiful and kind of unique way to kind of look at music. How exactly did you start Sister Species? Like, was there like a moment where you say, "Oh, I want to do this kind of thing," or was it just like you had a bunch of songs, like, "Oh, I guess I'm just going to do something with these now and put them out in the world and have the awesomeness to happen," you know?
Yeah, it happened when I mentioned that I kind of had some like musical growth when I was going to school in Portland, and I moved back to Minneapolis, Minnesota, my hometown. Also a wonderful city, great rich music scene, Prince is from here, what more do I need to say?
Just say it's Prince City, yeah.
So I moved back and I wanted to keep playing music. And so, yeah, initially, actually, my younger sibling played in the band with me for many years. And we started just playing like really small house shows or like benefits or like really DIY sort of spaces. I feel like there's like no basement in town that we didn't play in. And then that was in like 2011. And then slowly we just kind of collected a band that was more serious. So like by the time we released Closer Now in 2016, it was like our band had evolved from a duo into a septet, and there were 3 trumpets and just like all this intricate arranging, and all the musicians were really serious. Whereas like I think it was a much more casual project for the first couple of years I played, and still like heartfelt and still, you know, interesting songwriting. But there was a point in maybe 2015, 2016 where I was like, oh, I think actually like this has some momentum behind it, was the feeling.
How exactly do you go about writing the music? Like, are you pretty stingent on like I want things to sound this way? Are you pretty like, you know, I want it to be kind of like I want the trumpets in each kind of song. I want to make sure we have those elements. Or are you just like we're just gonna write whatever we're gonna throw things at the wall, and whatever sticks we're gonna put out?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. So usually I've written like the kind of like the bones of the song before I bring it to one of our rehearsals. So I usually have the lyrics and the chord structure and the general song structure set out, even if that maybe I'm willing to change, like the gist of it is there. And then from there, it's very slow and definitely experimental, where we often will try. Yeah, there's a little bit of throw something at it until it sticks feeling. Also, there's so much like just like a little bit of goofing around that'll happen at rehearsal, and sometimes someone will play something as a joke, and then we're like, no, that joke thing, like you should actually turn that into a part. There's also a lot of patience and a lot of slowness. Like often it'll take us like many rehearsals to finish a song, or we get stuck plenty, you know. I think we've all learned just to let it sit and come back to it and see how it goes later. But it's really fun. I mean, writing with like 6 other really like smart, kind, talented people is like really a treat to get to do that. Or I feel like I sometimes like the songs end up more exciting than I could have imagined them being. So
obviously you said you were into kind of like science and biology and stuff. If you weren't playing music, what would you be doing? Would you be doing something in that regard, like a scientific field? I feel like that's probably what the answer is going to be.
Well, I mean, I actually like do a lot of things that aren't music already. Like I work full time at a high school is what I do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I do youth work. So I run an after school program at this small alternative high school. Shout out to Menlo Park Academy. And I've been there for almost 8 years because I'm tight now. So yeah, that's kind of I'm really like committed to community building and which is not so different from the way that I approach music. I think that the way I approach most things in my life is about having like long, deep relationships. And that's definitely true with the youth work that I also do. So, and I'm a pretty like deep, nerdy gardener too. Especially this year, my garden's really good. So my front lawn is strawberries, and like my I don't know. I like, if you could name a cool plant that grows here, it's probably, and that you can eat, it's probably in my yard. So maybe I'd be farming more if I wasn't playing music. I don't know. But right now I feel like pretty lucky that my life actually includes a lot of different elements. I think that also makes the music more interesting. Like if you're only playing music all the time, I'm not really sure what you'd have to write about, you know, but when you're out in the world in a different way, there's a lot more inspiration to find.
Now, I guess we should hop right into, you mentioned it just then, you have a new album coming out, Light Exchanges. Why don't you tell the people about that, kind of like what they can expect when that comes out? Maybe some stuff that's that you have out now is kind of like a tease for the album. Maybe you can mention a few of those things for us. I don't know. Enlighten us all. Light Exchanges. There you go.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this album. I want to hold it actually to show you. I have a copy.
Please do. Please do.
This is Light Exchanges. And it is a 10-song album, and 6 of the songs are like lyrical, you know, poetic, like sing songs, whatever, songs with vocals. And then in between them are what we've called trumpet parties, stylized as TPT, PRTY, trumpet party. And so there's sort of like these seamless transitions between songs where a song will end and then the trumpets sort of carry you into the next song. And this is something that we started doing live that we thought would really help people to kind of move through the different emotions that are in the album. A lot of the songs in it are about staying put in different ways. So like there's a lot of kind of like a lot of love for simple everyday life things. There's like a song about cutting onions and garlic. There's a song about magnolias blooming. There's a song that is both about the inevitable heat death of the universe, but also about like trying to stay present or stay here and thinking about that like unimaginable, super distant future as a way to be like, but I'm here right now. So, yeah, that's Light Exchanges.
Awesome.
We're really excited about it. Lots of like nature inspired songs. And I think that there's kind of a journey that happens from this really far off, distant, like imagination space of the heat death of the universe until it kind of comes back down to earth with a song about the cottonwood trees and the June breeze, which hopefully, depending on where y'all live, like in Minneapolis, the cottonwood trees should be giving out their little fluff any day now. So, that's kind of a quick explanation of the record.
No, I think you definitely have a really cool, eclectic kind of batch of songs for people coming up. And you mentioned the heat death of the universe, which kind of leads into what I wanted to ask you next, which is the single that's actually out on all the streaming platforms right now, which is Heat Death. First question I want to ask you about that. First off, it's a lot of fun. It's got like a cool groovy pop elements, and it's got like the fun collaborative feel on that, and I think you really drive that home in the production and the recording of that. So what exactly was the inspiration for that song? And also you have a music video for that song. What was it like recording that music video? Because it's a great music video. You have the cat in it, everybody's in it on the stairwell. It's great.
Yeah, lots of cats. So some of the themes that the song, I started writing this song last winter, and the first line in it is "cold is the ultimate absence." And someone had told me that you don't actually feel cold, like cold is just the absence of heat. And I live in Minneapolis, which is like one of the coldest cities in the U.S. Like it gets extremely cold here. And in the winter, if you want to go outside and do stuff, which I do, you have to wear like a giant snowsuit and like make sure that none of your skin is covered. So that was what the song kind of started with. So there's a lot of like winter feelings in the song. And then there's this line about being held here. So the song kind of repeats, hold me here. So that's kind of the other main theme in the song, which means a lot of things to me, but partially is also about like, what does it mean to live in this ridiculous cold place? And like, why does no one move? You know, what are the things that hold me here? And so with making the music video, I was kind of just like expounding on those same themes. So thinking about like, how do we survive the winter? Like, how do we get through this? And I think for me, a lot of it is about like, again, like calling in my community. So like all of the all of the shots in the music video are either like in my home or in friends' homes. So I'm like holding a lot of my friends' cats, which is really fun. And then also like we're ice skating in this park that's like a block or so away from my house called Powderhorn. So there's just a lot of love for my community in that video, and love for winter, even though it's a hard love. Like, you know, like me and some of the band are in a sauna during the winter, and I don't know, all these things we do to try to survive, I guess, are present in that music video.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. That just curious. There's one clip in the music video that I couldn't get out of my head. It's like you're right there on the stairwell, and there's a cat, and you have a glove on, and you try to pet it, and it's clawing at you like you have the glove on, like you're about to hold a bald eagle or something like that. Is that your cat?
Okay, no, that is my bass player Ryan's cat, Templeton. Yeah, so like during that, the clip that you don't see is him, like the cat scratching my face and drawing blood, which happened, I think, maybe after that, but we kind of knew, we like, yeah, during that shoot, we gave him some catnip because we thought it would like help him act well, but we didn't realize it was actually hypernip. So I would like to blame the hypernip. But yeah, that was super necessary because he was not having it. But, you know, I was trying to respect the cat's boundaries in the video. Like, I think when you're working with animals, you really have to listen to the ways that they're telling you that they're done. You know, and I think, yeah.
Seemed like Templeton really had a little bit of a temper right there.
Face.
Yeah, it seemed like he had a little bit of a temper on him. I noticed when you had the glove on, I'm like, oh, this cat's not playing around. He's a little drama queen, I guess. But it's a great music video. I'm sorry you got scratched in the face. I didn't know that. But it looks like at least your hand was protected with the glove. And that video is on YouTube. It's online right now. If anybody's watching it and is interested, you can go look at it. It's a lot of fun. So what's next for Sister Species? I know you have the album coming out, but do you have any plans for the coming months? I know at the time of recording this, the COVID-19 crisis has kind of canceled all the live shows and everything, and we have no idea when that's going to start back up. But I don't know. Tell us what's on your mind.
Well, so I've actually been trying to do this thing, which is challenging, but let me recommend it, where I just like celebrate my successes before worrying about what's next. So I feel like right now I'm just feeling like really grateful and excited to have this album out, and especially when we finished the recordings back in the beginning of March. It was kind of wild timing. We like got the masters back like right before everything shut down in the US. So the timing was really interesting. And yeah, I mean, mostly we all feel lucky because we're all like healthy and safe and stuff like that. And we also didn't have, like during this time right now, like I would have been planning like a tour or something, but probably no tour for a while. So mostly I've just been enjoying sending mail. I've been really happy when people have like wanted physical copies of the album. I suppose the other thing I'm looking forward to is that we're making the album on vinyl, but because of COVID, vinyl production is a little slower, so we won't have the vinyl till mid-June. But I'm really excited to get to touch that and to mail it to people. The other thing I'm working on right now too, I guess it's funny, I was like, I'm not working on things, I'm just trying to enjoy celebrating, but I'm always sort of working on stuff. But I've gotten really into making like lino cuts, like linoleum prints. And so I've made, actually I'm going to show them to you because I can see them from here.
Please do.
So I've made like a bunch of these prints. Sound as touch as at a distance.
Yeah,
with a little
for
accordion.
Sure.
And then I made these trumpet party prints. Very silly, but as you can see, it's trumpet players having a party. And then I've made these prints of magnolia buds. So it's like a magnolia bloom. And so the other thing I'm working on right now is hand printing all of the lyrics for Light Exchanges, which I don't know whose idea it was. I guess it was mine. I do know whose. I'm trying to hand print all of the lyrics onto the vinyl. So like on the sleeve that the record is in, the white part, I'm going to print the lyrics on the front and the back. So
awesome.
The hard thing, I don't know if you've ever done like printing, like linoleum printing, but you have to do it backwards. So I have to like carve all the letters in backwards.
Oh my goodness. Well, I hope everyone appreciates how much trouble you're going through for that. Either way, I think it's going to be super, super cool when that finally comes together. Well, Emily, how can people keep up with Sister Species on social media, I guess?
Yeah, great question. We're at Sister Species on Instagram, Facebook. I recently started using Twitter. I don't know if it's cool or not. My favorite way for people to keep in touch with us is via our email list. If you want to hear all the good stuff, which you can sign up for on our website, which is sisterspecies.com. I also accept emails at sisterspecies@gmail.com. So all of those are good ways to get in touch with us.
We never have bands plug their email list. It's the best way to communicate. That's the communication route right there. You seem like you got that stuff down.
Good stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
You made a lot of music marketers proud when you mentioned the email list. Very nice, very nice.
Yes.
There you go.
Well, self-managing this band, I'm very DIY, and also I work pretty hard.
I think you do. I think you do.
Yeah.
Thanks to Emily for sitting down with me and talking all about Sister Species music. If you guys want to see more interviews just like this, you can go to facebook.com/Studio67NCC, youtube.com/NashComCollege, or you can find us on Instagram at Studio67NCC. Thank you all for watching. I'm Isaac Anderson, and until next time, stay lovely.